Hey man, you guys ready to preach? All right. Well, it's going to be a little bit different format, but I think everything's going to work out really well. And I think actually this is going to be great opportunity and experience for you. I want to tell you, I know you're all wondering how we're going to do everything, and I want to explain that to you. I just want to begin by just telling you, man, how much I've already enjoyed the first part of the semester with you guys and hearing you preach, and I'm excited for that. Um, I want to give you what's going to happen next. The next class that we have will actually be test two. There's not really a midterm in HOM 3, but it will be test two. And we're going to review that at the end of this lesson so you're all ready to go. But do know now the next class will be a test, and it'll be what we would call test number two. Then I'm going to do about 2 to 3 lectures still on preaching and some life reminders of preaching. Each class will be about 20 minutes long in length. I encourage you to listen to the material. I think you're going to find it to be very practical and things that you can use in your preaching ministry. However, the biggest thing that you are most concerned about is how we're going to do your 12-minute revival message. Let me first of all talk to you about the message. This has always been a real treat in our classes that you would actually preach to us. The first message you preached to a crowd of unsaved people, and we became those unsaved people for you. But this message is directly geared to us as a class. Now, I know we're scattered all about, and I think a lot of you guys are going to deal with messages that are apropos to what we're going through in our life right now, the fears, the concerns, the trust in God, what have you. And I'm looking forward to hearing those messages. And we're going to all listen to each other. By the way, we're going to take attendance by you giving your response and your encouragement and support and sharpening to one another. So we're going to all post on each other and what we heard and what we liked and how we could sharpen each other. You're going to tape yourself. You got to get a camera somewhere, your telephone or whatever, a 12-minute message, and you're preaching it to us. So when I'm watching this message, I want you to feed Dr. Shetler. I don't care if you use my name or use anyone in the class's name. That'll make it more personal even. But your audience is us. I think there's 13 or 14 of us. And that's who you're preaching to. You will take that, and let me tell you what you'll do. You'll record yourself preaching a 12-minute revival or message to us, what we need. You'll upload your video to YouTube. You will then email that link of your video to Brother Bundy and myself. I will watch the video and I will grade it. Your video will then, after I've watched it and graded it, your video will then be submitted as a discussion topic. Once it's posted, each student has a small window of 2 days to watch it. So I'm not going to flood it. I'm going to put one out at a time. Then you've got to watch that, just like we would have in class. We would have watched each other. I want everyone to hear each other preach. So once posted, each student has a small window of 2 days to watch it. By the end of these 2 days, each student is required to commit a critique for that particular preaching video, just like we've been doing in class. Give something encouraging, what you appreciated. Sharpen them with something that maybe you could do this differently or what have you. Will be good because you won't have really heard my remarks. I will personally communicate. I'll probably actually even call every one of you guys and tell you about, hey, I just saw your message. This is what I got from it. These comments and critiques will be counted as your attendance for that week. So you've got to do that. You've got to make comments on each other because that's how we're going to know that you watch the videos. This is what I want to do. Next class is going to be a test. We're going to review over that test in just a moment. Then I'm going to have 2 classes of about 20 minutes each, 2 lectures. And then after that, I need to start getting videotapes. So next week, I want some of you guys to start videoing your tape yourself right away, preaching, and sending us the 12-minute message. Listen, this is a project you can get all done then and get it in. I'm gonna give you a little incentive. The first video I get of that 12-minute message, I'm gonna give them 5 extra points on their grade. You may even go over 100. You preach a great message, I give you a 97, you get 102. The second video I get, I'll give 4 points. The third, 3. The fourth, 2. And the fifth one, 1. Then after that, it's just normal. I've got to start getting those videotapes coming in. So of your preaching. So the first guy that sends in his 12-minute video, I'll give you 5 points. Add it on to whatever I would have given you as a grade. And so that, I think, should be a great incentive for you. We get those videos up and we get those going. That's going to really help us. I had to make one mention to Hector. Hector, you've got to send me 2. You got to send me your gospel presentation and then your 12-minute message, because you're the only one that didn't preach the gospel message. So I need that as well. So we'll all get saved by Hector, and then we'll all be revived by everyone else. Guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about test number 2, which will be our next class period. And test number 2 will cover invitations and the gospel ministry. Let me just give you some different things. Remember, a gospel preacher must have love in his voice, compassion in his eyes, and conviction in his words. And then give the 4 imperative elements to gospel preaching. I think they were clarity, compassion, confidence. Make sure you have all 4 of those. And test on Canvas. You have to give the exact word in order to get it correct. So go back over. They don't have to be in any order. It's not going to matter what order they're in, but they do have to be the 4 imperative elements. They all start with C. The gospel preaching must have love in his, compassion in his, and conviction in his. Make sure you got the exact words for that. We talked about hiding places, that everyone has a hiding place. Lost people, and you got to preach to that hiding place and uncover it. We talked about invitations. Don't get in ruts. Go back through those invitation notes. There was one thing on the invitations we talked about. What are the 3 questions about invitations? Now let me give them to you because they were long statements. I'm going to let you get by with words. Why? What? And how? Okay, so the idea was, why am I going to have an invitation? What am I going to do in the invitation? And how am I going to run that invitation? But I'm okay with 3 words: why, what, and how. Remember also 2 C words. These come up a lot, but boy, they really tell you how important they are in preaching. What are the, when it comes to an invitation, always be clear and confident. You have to have great clarity in the instructions for the invitation, and you have to give it with great confidence, or otherwise people won't know and won't want to move because of your lack of confidence with that. Go through your notes on invitations, guidelines for invitations, and go through your notes on the gospel presentation as well. I was just looking at, trying to think of a couple other things. Yeah. All right. Then there were 4 D words that went with devotionals. You have to write, I'll give you a little statement, but you got to give me the D word that goes with each one of those statements. So it's got to be the right D word with the statement. I'll give you the statement, but you have to give me the word that starts with D. For the devotionals, I want you to know that as well. Again, several questions on invitation, several questions on gospel presentation. And you'll have that test. It's not a midterm. It's just test number 2. and then we will have 2 lectures. And then by then, I expect to have some messages, and then we're going to put those out one at a time. You guys are going to give your sharpening and your encouraging points. And guys, I really think this is going to work well. I actually think we'll be more focused on all of us. And by the way, I'm looking forward to hearing your messages. Preach to us, guys. Give us something that us 14, 13, 14, however many there are of us, preach to us and give us what you have. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing your messages in the days to come. First guy who gets his 12-minute message in, I'm giving him 5 extra points. So that's something you can maybe even do this weekend, get it in, and that'll be great. All right, man, looking forward to next class is the test number 2, and then I'll have a couple lectures as well. All right, thanks, guys.